board, that's the way that it feels. If you're trying to level up, if you're trying to stay solid, come tap in with the real Coach Marshall. Got it. More than a coach, more than a coach. Life, game, and vision. More than a coach, more than a coach, more than a coach.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back, y'all, to the More Than a Coach podcast, y'all. And I'm your boy, your host, Coach Marshall. So, y'all, tonight, I got a special show tonight, y'all. If y'all know me, you've been seeing me advertise it. I ain't gonna say a whole lot. I'm gonna take care of these house issues because I can't wait to get my man on the show tonight. Y'all already know the night show, y'all, sponsored by no other than Marshall Media, y'all, where you can come get basically one-stop everything from podcast shows, education, classes, and training, as well as a photography group and much, much more at Marshall Media brand, y'all. And remember, next month, Marshall Media starts its own radio show online, y'all. The Sound of the City. I'm going to give it to you, man. We're going to have everything from R&B, gospel, Southern soul, blues, hip hop, local DJs gonna come on and do their thing, y'all, as well as local artists. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. You'll be able to follow that on Live 365 under Marshall Media Group radio show. Also, y'all, make sure you tap in. The summertime coming. Kids gonna be out of school, and Miss G Learning Time Pre-K is ready to teach your baby, especially them young ones, to get them ready for preschool and kindergarten, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with her, and she'll talk to y'all about that more this Sunday. And that's right, y'all, this Sunday. I know we said last Sunday, but things be happening, and, we had to push it back one more week. But this Sunday, the Mr. and Mrs. Marshall Season 7 podcast is back, y'all, where it's all about life, love, and relationships. So y'all make sure y'all tap in at 8 o'clock live. We'll be streaming on YouTube, possibly on TikTok and Instagram. So y'all make sure y'all stop in and y'all come back and say hi to us, y'all. We missed everybody. And man, we coming back with some great topics and just some good time with all our family and friends, y'all. Also, make sure y'all tap in on Thursday nights with my homeboy from Saginaw by the way of Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Danye F. Jones. It's Something Every Yay podcast, y'all. Come on every Thursday night. I'll make sure y'all tap in with my brother. Go and check him out. Always got great topics, great guests, and just, man, very educational and informational. So y'all make sure y'all tap into my brother. Also, make sure y'all tap into DJ Kev, y'all. That's right, he'll be back. Actually, he might be back on later on tonight, y'all, on TikTok. So if you on TikTok, tune in, y'all, and y'all check out DJ Kev. We got a Southern Soul show tonight. So y'all make sure y'all stop by, say what's up, give them some love, tap that screen. Remember that thing I say, if you ain't tapping, you ain't clapping. So make sure y'all tap that screen and give your boy some hearts, y'all. And also, Saginaw got a lot of things coming up, y'all. Like one I will say next month, we got the Pawpaw and Princess Dance. It's free, y'all. You can sign up if you're a grandfather or pawpaw. Y'all come on and spend some time with your grandbaby. Get your little girl, man, put her in a pretty dress. She put a shirt and tie on, and y'all come on down and celebrate with the Saginaw husbands. And we're going to put on a great show and have a great time with our granddaughters, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tap into it. Also, too, this weekend, y'all already know what time it is. And if you know me, you know. Class of 88, Buena Vista, all class reunion this Saturday, y'all. Actually, we starting Friday night with the meet and greet sneaker ball at the BV High School gym. So y'all make sure y'all stop in and y'all come and show us some love. If you're a BV cat, we don't want no riffraff. We want to have a good time. And then Saturday, y'all, we have a cookout as usual. It'll be at the Dwayne J. Ferris Community Center. Man, it's all kind of food, laughter, just people having a good time, man. We see people from the 60s all the way to the year BV closed, So if you're a BV resident, you in town or you can get in town, man, y'all make sure y'all sign up. They go to barcode on there. And man, come have a good time with us, man. I want to say, I think class of 81 put this on, man. Salute to John Walton and the crew. And hey, if you missed last year, you missed a great time. And this year, y'all, it's going to be even better. So make sure y'all stop by and come check it out, y'all. And also, one last thing. Y'all make sure y'all go and stop by and buy Miss Tiffany Owens' book, Beyond Broken Pieces. It's a book that she wrote, talking about the loss of two children, y'all, and they lost their life by gun violence. So make sure y'all read this book, pick it up. When you see her, give her a hug and pray for her. It's a strong woman. I'm so proud of my little cousin. She's doing beautiful things out there. And, I know this book mean a lot to her. So y'all make sure y'all stop by, pick up that book. She'll even autograph it for you. So y'all definitely got to support our sister, y'all. And with that being said, y'all, tonight I got a super guest coming on the show with me tonight, y'all. Y'all see the picture? That's an old picture of him. When he had all that hair. I know him from being a youngster, y'all. Growing up in the city of Saginaw, he was a legend on the airways in Saginaw at 107. He was best known when I was growing up in junior high school, y'all, for the midday 7 play, where you could call, request songs. It had to be in the top 7, and he played them. But he let you get shots out on the radio, whether you was giving a shout out to your girl or your homeboys. It was just something to do. So a lot of us used to get up, do our Saturday morning chores, and then wait for the radio and wait for this man to come on the show, y'all, and have a good time. And so if you are coming to the reunion, man, he gonna be at the reunion, y'all, DJing. Then they got an after party thing on Saturday, which he gonna come on and he'll tell you more about it, y'all. So can y'all please help me and give a warm welcome to the More Than the Coach podcast, y'all, Mr. Dave Rosas. Oh, let me make sure I get him.
Kevin.
What's up, brother?
I'm good. I hear you loud and clear. Can you see me okay?
I don't see you.
Okay, I see you. I see you good.
Okay, yep. I just got your voice on there and everything, but they ain't got your picture up there, or you ain't on the live. But we got you though.
Okay, is that on my end? Do I got to click something, or is that on my end? There's a button at the bottom.
Yeah, probably just to use access your camera. That's all.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I could do that. I did access it. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to get out.
Oh, he disconnected. He'll be back on. As soon as he come back on, y'all, we got him back on the show. So y'all make sure y'all tap in. It's just gonna be a very interesting interview, and we gonna have a good one, y'all. We'll give him a minute to get himself back in here. Y'all know how it be, man. Sometimes we have these technical difficulties, y'all. Until we come back, I can tell y'all about a couple other things that's going on in the city of Saginaw coming up too, y'all. We do got the 989 day for Saginaw. So that'll be, I think, September, I want to say. Yeah, September 8th and 9th. So that should be real positive. Y'all gonna see a lot more about it. Make sure when y'all see it, they looking for sponsors, looking for people to vendors, actors, entertainers, everything. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with that. And then y'all know also my man, Mr. Chucky Lawrence. He got Sunday Fun Day. You already know we had the big kickball game the day before. But this year, y'all, he got some great people coming, y'all, from Saginaw's own BAD band and the Ready for the World out of Flint with Brenda Cameron and Miss Alicia Reynolds. So y'all make sure y'all tap in, get with Chucky, $10, y'all, and the canned goods. You can't beat that for some good music. But my man Dave just got back in, so let's bring him back on. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah, I hear you good. For whatever reason, it won't. I went to the app. It won't let me access the camera for whatever reason.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it says on the I just did a podcast a few hours ago in Chicago, out of Chicago, from one of my boys, and it was working fine. I don't know why this is not working. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I got your voice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you're known for, that voice on the radio. So
Yeah.
we definitely make it work. So now that
All
I got
right.
you on, man, can you tell my listeners here More Than the Coach podcast more about you?
Well, I grew up in Buena Vista over on the corner of Monmouth and 26, right down Monmouth and Wadsworth. The house is still there. Went by there the other day. The house is there, still there, which I'm proud of. And my dad came up from Roots, years ago. Went to Highland Park. Sad Highland Park's not there no more. I'm the graduating class of 1977, so proud member of the class of 77. And this whole radio thing came by accident. I was working at General Motors, came out of high school in 77 working for General Motors, and one of the DJs, Dante Tucson, actually said, man, you should do something with your voice. But before I ever got on radio, the guy who helped me out, and I was known as Fabulous Dave, was Mellow Fellow. Mellow Fellow was the guy who took a shot of me, and that's why this Saturday, I'm going to be honoring Mellow because, like I said, he took a shot on me 45 years ago when a lot of people wouldn't take a shot on me. And I said this the other day on Kareem's show, the very first night, I almost did not continue because I made the biggest mistake of my life. My very first night, I almost quit my very first night spinning. I didn't want to do it no more, but then Mellow chilled me out, and the rest became a very lovely career. Praise God. Some health issues, but God brought me back, and better, bigger, better than ever.
That's all right. So what was it that made you almost quit?
I was wondering. I'm gonna be honest with you. I went out the very first night in the club. I was known as Fabulous Dave. I didn't ever use Fabulous Dave on the radio. I think Kermit wanted me to get out of that club and become more professional. So get out of the Fabulous Dave. Even though I did use Dr. Dave for a minute, but then I just went with Dave Rosas. The very first night, I must have went out and smoked so much weed, drunk so much tequila. And I thought that's what it was going to be to get the party started. Man, I went up there and froze like Eminem did in 8 Mile, and I forgot how to operate my own equipment.
Oh my goodness!
I go to the plant on Monday. Everybody's dogging me out. Man, you threw that party. You almost this. And I said, Mellow, this ain't for me, man. He goes, no, give it another shot. Give it another shot. We got a gig Saturday at the local 668. This time, don't smoke nothing. Don't drink nothing. But just come try it. And from that day forward, I fell in love with it. And I met a guy named, you might know the name Doc Elliott. He was known as also Larry O.J. He's from Saginaw. His real name is Larry Worthy, but he was known as Doc Elliott on WJOB. And I saw him years ago, like in 1978, and he was in Gary, Indiana working. I was dating his sister. And I saw him and I said, man, you get paid for this, to do this? He goes, yeah, very nicely. And this was when AM radio was popping. I went out, bought my own system, and like I said, went out and bought my own system. Mellow gave me a shot, and I had bought my own system, and I started imitating. While I was working with Mellow in the clubs, I started imitating the DJs on the radio. I started imitating Kermit Crockett, Larry D, just to learn my craft, to really see if I could do this. And I think I started with Mellow in 1979. I ended up on 107 in 1980. My very first shift was Saturday night, midnight till 6 a.m. When you pay, you got to come on paying your dues, so you got to use it. Work the graveyard shift. But I loved it because everybody, it was like being up all night party, doing the Fabulous Mellow Fellow thing, and got kind of good at it. I had some good teachers along the way, like Walt Baby Love. Walt Baby Love took me under his wing and taught me a lot of the radio, as did some of the other guys around the country. I was sending air checks too, and I just created my craft. And then when I created the Midday 7 play in 1984, I wanted something interacting with the audience, something different, something that interacted with the audience. And I said, I'm on Saturdays. I'm on the midday of the day, 10 to 3. And I said, I need something around 7. And I just started saying Midday 7 play. And I started doing it. And it's so special. I tell people Friday night is so special because Friday night I will be coming full circle. full circle. I get really emotional because BV, BV is so special to me.
Mm.
The people of BV, if BV doesn't support me, Midday 7 play never happens. Dave
Mm.
Rosas never works with D'Angelo. Dave Rosas never works with Prince. Dave Rosas never
Mm.
ends up in Kiss FM in LA. Dave Rosas, none of that ever happens if I don't have the support from my folks in BV. It all started with BV, but I'm so grateful and humbled from everything because it started with BV and then Saginaw just came on board and took a loving to it. So then
Mm.
all of a sudden, this whole community. And then when I went back, I went to the music business, as you know, for a while. And I went to work for Virgin Records, and then I went to EMI Records, and that's
Mm.
when my boy, and I've had a lot of heartache lately because I lost I've lost a lot of turntable brothers, but I lost my main man in music when I lost D'Angelo. I
Yeah.
lost my main. It's going to be hard Friday night for me to play his music. I'm going to play it, but it's going to
Yeah.
be damn hard. It's going to be awful hard because I haven't played too much of his music. I played the remix of Lady in one of the social media things I did, but it's
Mm.
going to be really hard when I play Brown Sugar, Lady, and Untitled because, man, that was like a piece of me went with him, and I still thank God. I mean, it was an incredible career, but for me, it all started right here. You're gonna crack up. I did the Midday 7 play in 3 cities. I did it here in Saginaw,
Mm.
I did it in Orlando, and I did it in
Okay.
LA. Okay. Recently in Orlando, and this is when I said, man, I can't believe it. And this is why it's so overwhelming sometimes. My old radio station boss called me and said, man, your social media blew up so big. People thought you was back on the radio here in
Wow.
Orlando. He goes, we created a contest. So Saturday night at the final spin, my old radio station in Orlando is sending 4 contest winners to come see me spin from Orlando to Saginaw,
Whoa.
Michigan.
Oh man, that's a
And
blessing, man.
beyond, I'm like I can't believe it. You know what's in Orlando, Disney, Universal,
Yeah.
and and they're coming to see the final spin. So I was like, Friday is already going to be an incredible night, but to even see the love that I'm in the city 500 miles away, and people are
Yeah.
feeling what we're doing here in Saginaw. But what Kevin was really humbling. I haven't done the Midday 7 play in 39 years here. It's been
Wow.
39 years. And the reaction has been like, I just did it last Saturday.
Man, when I seen you on TikTok and then I hit you up on Facebook, oh, you got to play Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever. And I hit my boys up like, man, Dave did a mini Midday 7 play, and I got on there just like we did back when we was in high school.
Just
So
like we did. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
it's
I
cool, man.
recreated it online. I'm going to recreate it Friday night, and I'm going to
Okay.
be very blessed. I'm going to tell you, this is crazy. This is how much BV. My very first co-DJs were not only BV alumnus, but
Mm.
also sisters, Kendra and Rhonda Warren. Were my
Yeah.
very first. Kendra was my very first co-DJ. Rhonda was my second. In the first 2 years, it was like 60% Buena Vista. And then Saginaw kind of, because it's like nobody could get through the request lines no more. It just
Mhm.
became, but then, it just, like I said, it's very humbling and that's why it's like, man, like being on your show, man, I'm trying to give as much back as I can.
Oh,
This show is so special to me. I mean, I was putting my lights together. I mean, I 2.5 hour, and then I'm going to spend at the picnic too, because whatever I can't spend Friday night, I'm going to spend at the picnic for 3 hours from 1 to 4. And then Saturday night,
oh yeah.
you've been seeing the mixes I've been doing.
Oh yeah. Still got it like riding a bike, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna be real
I've
with
been
you,
having
man.
the ball.
I'm gonna be real with you. I always had a passion for music, and then after I just had a surgery not too long ago, so I've been recuperating and everything, and finally retired. And I picked back up and like I'm starting to DJ online. I do it on TikTok. I got a couple
Right.
gigs, and everything. I ain't on y'all level yet, but
Uh,
I'm also next month. I'm also starting the Marshall Media online radio show.
I
You
saw
know,
that. I heard that.
so
Congratulations.
stuff, yeah.
Absolutely.
I just think it's something that we need, because like you turn on the radio nowadays, it's all like push button, and it ain't nobody talking like it used to be with y'all, the different personalities and the interactions y'all had with people. And I want to kind of go back to that with what I'm trying to produce and put on. So it's an honor, man, to be able to talk to you tonight as well as see you all on social media again, and then gonna be able to enjoy the weekend with y'all, man. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward.
well, it's reunion weekend, and I mean, just to touch on what you was talking about, I brought this up on Kareem's show, and what I do a lot of consulting. People ask me what I do. What I do, I'm out of the music game and stuff. I know the game, and so I've given up. I give more advice than anything because I know the big game, and I've been blessed to know the radio game and the music game like the back of my hand. Radio became DJing became natural to me. I had to go
Mm,
learn to be an executive. I had to go
okay.
learn to be an executive, but radio became natural to me,
Mm,
and like I said, but then in 1995 and 1996, from the NBPC, National Black Programmers Coalition, I was voted Executive of the Year 1995, 96, 2 years in a row.
oh
And
wow.
in 1987, when I was in Saginaw, the midday seven play grew so much that there was a publication called Impact Publications, and I was
Mm,
voted in the top 10 at number 8 as out of 2,400 plus DJs. I was voted in the top 10 at number 8 as one of the top 10 DJs. The only DJ in market number under 5, but happened to be in Saginaw. Yep.
wow.
So it's been a whirlwind, but a lot of sacrifices, a lot of struggle. I had to take some time off for Dave. When you talk about surgeries, you won't be able to tell it. I've had 12 surgeries, 8 since 2012. I've had
Oh
12
wow.
surgeries. They found that I had a blood disorder called factory loving, and so I have to be on top of that. You won't be able to tell it unless you saw all the scars. But that's why I say God really has brought me back
Mm,
tremendously, and that's why I tell people it's like, man, I'm just a guy from Buena Vista that
mhm,
had a break. Like if people say you're a celebrity, I don't look like I'm. I don't want I'm just a
mhm.
guy from Buena Vista that if I can pass on anything, I want to pass it on. And I tell you. Right now, the reason a lot of these podcasters, and I applaud you, I applaud all the podcasters, DJ Tools, all the ones that are doing it. Your man out of Chicago that you just promoted earlier,
Oh yeah.
because I told iHeart Jocks, I said the reason these podcasters are kicking y'all, excuse my French, AZZ, is
Mhm,
because when you guys decide to go back, when you guys decide to take what the podcasters are doing back to the microphone and the board of the radio stations, you will see the difference. And more importantly, the DJs that can do both. The
mhm,
DJs that can do both. I'll give you a tip. The two most important records, the two most important things any DJ does, whether it's on the air or a podcast, is how you start your show, your first record, or how you end your show, your last record. How you
mm.
start your show sets the tone, the record sets the groove. How you end it will keep them talking and keep them coming back for more.
That's true. I like that, and I'm gonna
You
put that in
know,
my mental block. Thank you.
yeah.
And
And
I try to.
people want to be informed. You see it on social media all the time. I don't
Mhm,
hear news no more. I don't hear, and then I hear so much script. Like what we're doing right now is script. It's right off the cuff, and that's what people talk to the people like you talk like we're talking right now, just
that's
having a
right.
conversation.
Yeah, that's why
Keeping
I
it
like doing.
100.
That's why I like doing. Like I do have questions that I ask people because sometimes people want to know about the person and you talking to, but 9 times 10,
Absolutely
I like to just sit and talk like we've been talking and kicking it for years, man. You know,
right, right.
and
No,
that
man,
guy.
I'm very. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
I was just gonna say that guy
Uh,
that you was talking about out of Chicago. He's also a Buena Vista alumni, class of
All
'89.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my man. I'm gonna have to
Yep.
check him out tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna be on
definitely.
the I'm gonna be on a different podcast for a minute, but I'll check him out when I'm done because of the time zone difference. I'll be able to check him out.
Yeah. Yep. And he on
you
all
know,
day, run his show all throughout the day. So that'd be cool.
beautiful. I'll be
Hmm.
checking them out. But no, man, I'm looking forward to all the nights. I know you shouted them out, all classes, guys. Come on out. Let's rekindle some memories. Let's relive some incredible years. because those
Yes.
BVs, some of those my best years was at BV. For a lot of us, I mean, it's sad what has happened, but you know what? We still BV night for life.
All
And I'm
right.
still BV night for life. And
That's
I
right.
want to just echo what you said. I applaud and commend, John Walton, Kenny Miles, Tori Lee,
Yeah.
Richard Brooks, yourself, the whole class of 81, the class of 87, the class of 85, because I'm seeing them all pop up. Everybody
Mm.
that, from when I started asking for requests, like, when I shouted you out, when I shouted you out for the Keith Sweat,
Mm-hmm.
from the time that I requested, I had over 2,000 BV nights
That's
make
something.
requests. And that
That's
blew
something.
me away. That blew me
Yeah.
away.
See.
And we're going to try and relive the 81 prom. I got some
Mm.
special effects that are coming. I'm trying to relive the 81 prom because I got the two songs and the DJs that did it then, so it's about making some memories. And then my last song, I'm not going to give it away. My
Okay.
opening, like I told you, that opening and my last, I just hope I don't get too emotional on my last song. I just
That's
really hope I
good.
don't but it's 39 years of just grateful, thankful, and praising God and all the nights that we're in the same room together.
Yeah, and that's the blessing because we have lost so many fallen nights.
Man,
You know,
man, I see it.
and
Yes, yes,
that's part
absolutely,
of
we
the
have.
hard. Part of the hard part going to the reunion because you miss those close friends and the loved ones that you lost. So, and like you said, we never know when we'll get this opportunity again. So that's why it's
Right.
good. We do this every year and everybody can come back, and even having you, because you taught me something today. I didn't know you had graduated from BV,
Yeah, I'm a
which
77, class of 7, went to Highland Park, went to Ricker, and when
yes,
Jonathan said they wanted to keep it all BV, and then he said he said I was very happy when he said once they announced me that they was going to happen, that so many more nights were coming in, and it's going to be incredible. I'm going to spend some tomorrow night, but I also want to come enjoy and hand out a
exactly.
lot of hugs and get a lot of hugs and a lot of high
Mhm.
fives and
Yeah,
and reminisce because I am a knight as well.
that's right. And man, I heard it was almost 3,000 people that registered for this weekend.
Oh my god! Oh my God! If 3,000 show
Now I know if all
up,
3,000 show up, we're gonna
if
need something different.
3,000 nights show up, I'm like
Mm,
John, but
man,
Tori, I don't know if 11 o'clock ain't going to work. We have to go to 11 o'clock the next morning. Let's just party right into the picnic.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's right,
go
man.
get some spotlights. And I got enough music. I got a couple of thousand songs that I
Mm,
downloaded, so I'm ready.
there you go. There it is, man.
Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much for having me on. And like I said, I was
Oh,
like, man, I'm trying to. It's been, like I said, I've been getting it ready as people have been seeing on social media. But man, I got to shout out my man G Pierce. People, like I said, it's not just
yes.
me; it's a team that helps me. My man Keith Thomas, and there's people that behind the scenes that have just been down with Dave and what he does, and my social media guys, man. I got two young cats out of USC, and
Mm,
I mean, just my guys that they put together stuff for me, and they just believed in everything that I do. So like I said, it's I got a good support system. But I mean, this
mm,
is so special to be back home. And like I
yeah.
said, I'm gonna try and hit. It's impossible for me to get to all the requests in three. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yourself 3.5 hours. That's about 40 songs if I mix everything
man.
correctly. Yeah,
That's true. That is
if
true.
I mix everything correctly, and even if I squeeze some in, but some of the hits is like, man, I haven't heard some of these songs, and I'm trying to cover all the different eras. So
Yeah.
that's why I did like that little mix. I had to get my stuff in, like that mix you saw me do with Body Heat into Michael Jackson. I'm gonna have to be doing some
Mhm.
clever things like that.
Oh yeah, you got to keep them on their toes though. But it's gonna be good having
Absolutely.
you out there, man. Doing your thing, man. So I can't wait. I just hope we have great weather, man, so we can have a good time Saturday. I already
Yes.
know Friday night
Yes.
gonna be awesome. but I know Saturday after party gonna be even lit. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be
make sure.
uh,
Yeah, tell people get there early. Use the Genesee Street entrance. Get there early. We're expecting a capacity house from what everybody's telling me, and see the reason we call it the final spin. Mellow Fellow lives in Mississippi now. Sweet
okay.
Ray and I've been. He lives here, but to get the three of us, all this came together, I said, man, me and Mellow started me. He just happened he was going to be here anyway. He pulled in this afternoon, and
Okay.
so I was like, man, this is the only time this is probably going to be able to happen. You're 75. I'll be set. In fact, my birthday's a week from Saturday. I'll be 67, even though nobody believes it, but I will be 67.
Wow. Yeah, you don't look like it, man. That's all right.
Yeah.
God is good.
I think I could pass maybe for 57. I can't pass for no
Mm.
47, but I'm proud of my age, man. Like I said, I give all the praises to God for putting me back in line, giving me a second chance of life with the health issues that I've had. Because there's a lot of people, like you said, fallen nights, fallen 107 personalities. Recently
Mhm.
lost Kurt Roby, Herb Charles, not too long ago. So, and then there was two nights in 19 from my class, Elwood
Mhm.
Henry and Larry Cole, and they were two of the guys, my one childhood friends, but they also believed in me, and they were two of my childhood friends in BP Nice that, man, would not let me give up neither. Man, like, follow your dream, don't let nobody tell you otherwise, follow your dream. So, I got to keep them in memory and give them props because they were big supporters and big helps of mine.
Exactly. That's true. And then as well, we lost a legend from BV not too long ago with Dwayne Ferris. So, you know,
Oh man, that broke my heart. Yes,
yeah.
and I was so happy to see that they renamed that center, the Dwayne Ferris Center.
Mhm.
What an incredible brother,
Yeah. Right
incredible
in.
brother, man.
That was
Yeah,
so true.
and there was a lot of it, but see, that's the thing about it. There's so much talent. Me and Mark Macon still stay in contact. We used to jog together going down Outer Drive,
Mm.
back in 1987 when I left and then he left the Temple. There was so much the other day I was talking to Angelus Guillory, from
Mm.
back in the BP early days. They used to call him Radar. That guy would never miss on the court. They used to call him Radar. I mean, the athletes, but just
Mhm.
not only the athletes, people like Tanine Colvin, like people that just went on and were very, very, very smart and very intelligent. That nights and went out and did a lot of big things. Of the history, man, that how
Right.
that school was started. And so a lot of talent that's come out of Buena Vista, man. John Walton, Kenny Miles, yourself. I mean, the list goes on, man. The list
Oh
goes
yeah.
on.
Hey, what's funny? I was in Starbucks the other day, me and my wife, and this older white gentleman kept staring at me. Didn't know who he was. Then all of a sudden he just did you graduate from BV? And it kind of shook me. And I'm like, huh? He was like, you look like somebody. I'm like, no, I graduated from there, but he way older than me. And then he was like,
Right,
do you got family named Akins? And I'm like, yeah. He said, on 26th Street? I'm like, yeah, them my uncles. And instantly he was like, oh, I grew up with one of your uncles, Derek and Dwight. I'm like, this is a small world. So I told him, I'm like,
right.
man, we having a reunion, all class reunion Saturday. You should come on by. He said, oh wow, I gotta come and do that. I doubt if he show up, but if he do, that'd be great.
Right.
You know.
My brother Danny, all of us grew up. I was the last of 10, and we all
Okay.
graduated from BV. I had several that have died over the past few years. I lost several of my brothers and sisters, but my
Mm,
brother Danny, who's still around, he may be there. He's got some health issues.
okay.
He graduated from the class of '64.
Okay.
He came out in '64, so he was going there. I know the school, I believe, opened up in '50. I think the first graduating class was '62. The very first
Mm,
graduating class was '62. So he was the third graduating class. He was part of
oh
the third
wow.
grade. Yeah, he served in Vietnam, but he's still around. And I told him, man,
Mm,
so he's trying to make it. I said, man, come on, we would love to have you there. Love to have you there. So
yeah, that would
anyway,
be a blessing. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
you're gonna see a lot of people, man, and it's a beautiful thing, like last year. Me and my partners, we just set us up a tent, man, and we enjoyed ourselves. Good food, conversation with people, And I was
Right.
actually out there with my podcast stuff last year, and John asked me this year. He said, "You gonna bring?" I said, "No, I'm coming to enjoy. I'm gonna have my cameras going, taking pictures and things." But I just want to be a part of the family, and that's one thing a lot of people don't realize with BV. It's a family, no matter
It's a
where you
family.
from, you know,
That's right.
and it's just
Yeah, I mean, I'm
BV.
impressed. I heard there's an entourage coming. There's a caravan coming from Georgia of all BV Knights.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, Sean Matthews and a whole bunch
yeah,
of. In fact, they made. I think they're pulling in tomorrow. I think they're pulling in
okay,
tomorrow. So, yeah, they're coming from all parts. They're coming from all
yeah,
parts.
it is, man. So, hey, I'm
Yeah.
ready. I can't wait, man. It's gonna be an honor, like I said, to just want to sit and listen to you. You know, Friday, Saturday night. So it's gonna be an honor to
Yeah, all
see everything,
three.
man.
This is the most I've spun over a weekend in a long time. So no, that's why I said. But you know what? It's my pleasure because this, like I said, I love music so much. All I've ever liked to do was entertain, and most people know that. Just entertain with I could entertain with my music, and now instead of entertaining with turntables, now I'm entertaining with digital. Now I'm
Yeah,
mixing digital. Everything is digital now. So, but like, man, I can do it, but I miss my turntables. I miss my
yeah,
turntables.
yeah. It's a difference, man. But and then you have to pay so much for all this digital stuff now. But I mean, it is
Man,
what
but
it is.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I'm ready. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I pray to God that the hands and the skills be on point more than ever in my life because this show is really, yeah. Like I told her, I said, y'all ain't getting just a show. Everybody, you're really getting my heart and my soul. I'm pouring out my soul in about 2.5 to 3 hours.
There you
Friday
go.
night, pouring out my soul for 3 hours. Saturday night at the picnic, and then pouring out my soul Saturday night. And if God willing, there's some conversations being had next week, and we'll see if the Lord makes a couple of the other things happen for me around here. We'll see, and you'll
Okay.
be one of the first to hear about it if it does transpire.
Okay. I really be looking forward to that, and I'm gonna be reaching out to you when I get this radio show off the ground too, man. And 'cause I
Anything
just
I can
want to
do. If
get.
you want me to do some drops, you want me to do
Oh
some drops
yeah.
or whatever you need me to do. Whatever
Oh
you need me
yeah.
to do, my friend.
And
Yeah.
even I'm gonna even have a segment on there too, where I'm giving local DJs an hour if they want to come on and have their own time and do what they
Okay.
want, because everything good. So we definitely gonna chop it up on that. But I do
Well,
want.
make sure Friday you come holler at me upstairs. I'll be
Oh,
upstairs on the balcony, so I'll be looking for you.
yeah, I'll definitely be up there. That used to be my spot when I was at BV. You know,
I know that's
yeah,
right.
for real.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you though, before we get ready to get out of here, man,
Yeah.
because I know the relationship with D'Angelo. How did you and him meet, man? And how did that connection
D-
happen?
there was a guy named Gary Harris. Gary Harris was our A&R guy. He was one of our A&R guys. I was his relation guys at EMI. And
Okay.
my very first day, I had worked at Virgin, and I brought the story up the other day. I worked at Virgin. I worked at Janet Jackson. The last project I worked at Virgin Records was Janet Jackson. That's the way love goes. And it's
Mm,
crazy. The day I took that record number one, the day I took that record number one was the same day they eliminated my position. Okay,
what?
politics politics of the game. The person there didn't bring me in. He wanted his own person in, and it didn't matter how good I was. It happens. I
Yeah.
wasn't mad. So it happens. You got to unfortunately in the music business, it happens a lot back then. Well, as lo and behold, I get a call about 3 weeks later. EMI Records calls me, and they bring me in as senior vice president of marketing and promotion. Okay,
Mhm.
my first day, they had just signed D'Angelo. Gary Harris and I had worked together at Virgin. He was an A&R guy. He signs D'Angelo. He goes, "Oh my God, they've got the perfect person. I know you're going to get this." And then so I leave here. I leave Virgin and I go to EMI. The first day, I heard Brown Sugar. He played
Mm,
me Brown Sugar on a piano. And this guy's named Charles Koppelman. Charles Koppelman was the president of Virgin of EMI Records at the time, and
okay.
they brought D'Angelo up. He and I met. We went and hung out. We went to this restaurant down the street called Virgil's. He gave me all his vision. He was telling me how he's got all these songs, and he was telling me about Brown Sugar and the experience. And I just bought into it. I mean, I never met a brother like this. And, I just never met him. And then about 6 months later, he was already recording. So he asked me to come down to Electric Lady. Electric Lady was an unbelievable studio back in the day. Jimi Hendrix used to record at Electric Lady, back in the day. And so he brought me down to Electric Lady, and he played me the rough of Brown Sugar. I heard Brown Sugar. I heard Lady. I heard Cruisin', and a couple of others. And he had went through 200 songs to choose 9 for that album. There's only 9 songs on that album. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. So so my first day, they introduced me as EMI's new artist, and they introduced me as the new senior vice president of marketing and promotion. And they said, D'Angelo, this is the man that'll be in charge of your career.
Wow. That's something.
And it was crazy. EMI didn't know what they had. My boss, David Sigerson, and I rag on him sometimes, but he's an incredible, we still stay in contact. David Sigerson was president of EMI. In Billboard magazine, they interviewed him, and they said, it may take radio, because radio was the #1 way of breaking records back then. He said, it may take radio 2 albums. They were only expecting to sell 25,000 of Brown Sugar. That's all they were expecting to sell. I went in there his office. I said, you're about 1.9,755 short. He goes, it's no way this guy is a double platinum artist. I said, David, he's not only a double platinum artist, he's about to create a whole new sound called Neo Soul. He goes, and I showed him my budget, and he goes, I'll tell you what it was. He goes, you want $625,000 for this artist that we don't believe in? For that, we don't believe in him like that right now. I said, yes. And I'll put my job I'll put my job on it. He said, you just did.
Whoa.
You just did. He told me point blank, you just did. He wrapped his arms around me. He said, you just did. So, but thank God I was right. Thank God I believed it. And not only, it wasn't me being right. He was right. D'Angelo, the people accepted it. I tell people, the true marketing people, it wasn't my job to change D'Angelo. It was my job to convince the people of the world about D'Angelo's vision. Okay. And that's what a lot of people don't understand in marketing, or when you're breaking records and all that. It's not my job to go expose. It's my job to convince Kevin, this is the best thing since apple pie. You're going to want to be a part of this now. You're going to want a part of this 10 years from now, because this guy is that good. You know what I mean? And that's when I got to, but then he was that good. He's, it was unreal. But there was one mistake that, oh man, when I talk about it, the one mistake that they made, and his own manager, Dominic Trenier, admitted that it was a mistake after he recently died, that I'm glad the women loved seeing him naked in the video. I'm very happy, but it took away from what D'Angelo was all about.
Yeah.
He was known as the naked guy on the video. He wasn't known as the guy that just created a masterpiece, the guy that created voodoo, the guy that could play 18 instruments by just picking it up. He wasn't known for what he really, really was. And I mean it. Oh yeah, the naked guy in the video. I heard that so many times.
Yep. No, that's true.
Yeah, and it drove me crazy. And he didn't like it. He did not look at himself as a sex symbol. They convinced him he did not like it. You could almost see he was uncomfortable when he was doing it in the video. You could almost, knowing him like I know him, I could read the body. He did it, and he pulled it off. But I know he wasn't happy in doing it. You know. I mean, it was very well known. He had a baby with Angie Stone. Yeah. Angie Stone was 30 plus. He was 17. So it's very well publicized. So he never looked at himself as this great sex symbol. And you're going to really crack up as a man. At the same time, when D'Angelo came out, Maxwell was just coming out. Okay. And the Columbia guy was my boy. He goes, man, what kind of calls are you getting on D'Angelo? I'm like, why? He goes, man, we get fan mail that I like Maxwell, but I want to D'Angelo, if you feel me. I like Maxwell, But I want
Yeah,
to.
you
I
already
never
know.
saw nothing like it. He and I would sit back and laugh about it. And it was crazy. Some of the fan mail, and he was just so. It wasn't him. It just wasn't him. You know what I mean? It really wasn't him.
Because he put me in the same field as like when you talk about musically inclined of how Prince was. You know,
Oh man. And
that's
I
the
had a
kind of
pleasure. Yeah, I had a pleasure to work with Prince. I tell people, people say, well, I was in charge of marketing and promotion. I had 28 people. I was in charge of the budgets. For me to operate EMI in 1996, that was 30 million a year. To
wow.
me, to operate EMI in 1996, my budget was 30 million. That was just overhead. That's not artist budget. That was just to operate, to have offices. That was just my overhead. So just to operate EMI, I had to sell 6 million albums of something to cover my overhead, to cover 6 million of everything, a combined of all my artists, of all my
Jesus.
artists. Okay. But BMI had Red Hot Chili Peppers. We had Selena. We had Prince. But that
Mm,
year, that 96 year pop for me, D'Angelo, double platinum. Prince, triple platinum.
mm,
Selena, rest in peace, double platinum.
mhm.
Gangstar platinum. I released and then we had just signed Luther Vandross. Dance Was My
Mm.
Father was supposed to be mine. And I didn't get a chance to work it because they ended up shutting down the label.
Oh,
And that's when
wow.
I left
That's
EMI. That's when I left EMI and I went to A&M Records.
okay,
So yeah,
man.
there's history. There's some stories I could tell you that
Yeah.
and I mean, but I tell people, I tell artists all the time, like I said, there's so many ways to skin a cat, but at the end of the day, you still got to make a good music. I got
Mm,
artists that I got as much airplay. An artist by the name of Smooth that you may or may have never heard of. A beautiful R&B girl, Chris Stokes' sister, the Chris Stokes who developed Omarion and
mm,
B2K. Okay, she had this record called Strawberry and Hennessy. As much
mm.
airplay at the same stations that D'Angelo got played, the exact same radio stations, as much airplay. Only difference: D'Angelo sold 2 million. She barely sold 40,000.
Wow. Dang.
She had what we called a turntable hit. And see, I tell people, what's that? Like, I was good at getting you seen.
Mm,
MTV, BET, The Box, whatever. Getting you heard. Kevin Marshall show, B 107 FM, radio, Steve Harvey show, whatever. But there's one thing that I can do and no executive, even what they promise you can do. We cannot make nobody go into their pocket and buy your record.
that's true. That is
We
true.
position we position you for success. We
Mm,
position you for success. We position you, like I said, in research and stuff to sell. Like, I'll give you an idea. My goal is to have 1,000 people at the final spin. I'm hoping it's way more of that, but my goal, if I
mm,
have 1,000 people, so for me to get to 1,000 people, I got to have 100,000 impressions just to reach those 1,000 people.
mhm.
And I got about 3 to 4 times that with all the social media because I surrounded the troops. And then thank God, the popularity of the show and everything and not being around. So I'm very confident. But just to give an idea, so in music, like I said, just for me to operate EMI, I had to sell 6 million albums combined of something to break even, just to break even,
Man, that's a
you
lot.
know. And oh man, I could give you even. There's many companies that see. Most of those companies aren't even around no more. A&M is a logo label. Virgin Records is a logo label. Motown Records is a logo label. Back when
Mm,
I first started, all those labels have full staffs. They had
mm,
full staffs. Today, all those labels, like the Universal rep, the person that represents Universal Records, probably probably has to deal with about 20 to 25 different artists. And
mm.
it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's not enough hours in the day. It's
Yeah.
impossible. It's impossible.
Jeez.
And I would love to, like I said, we may be down when you do that. Maybe, I could do an educational moment of what a record deal really is, or there's
Mhm.
what words you need to look for when you're an inspiring artist. Because I tell people there's language you need to look for, like compromise, know what independent promotion means, know what the language means to know if you're getting screwed or not.
Okay. Yeah, that would be something positive because we got a lot of local artists that's good. Um,
Unbelievable,
you know,
unbelievable artists around here.
and
You know,
but like you said, they just need that education and that teaching. Because I interviewed a guy at Kalamazoo last week, and I found him through TikTok and Instagram. And
wow.
small, and it was a small thing. I was in Kalamazoo last week, and I asked one of my cousins if they know him, and sure enough, my one cousin went to high school with him. And you would think
Oh,
this guy,
too cool.
yeah, you would think this guy when you
Yeah.
hear him, you would think he should have been signed with a major label. He got about like 12 independent albums, powerful
Mm.
voice, but like he even said, he said, the business ain't what it is. So, but yeah, a
Oh
lot of
no,
people
it's
have to keep that.
it's very different. And see, back in the day, you had A&R people that were signing artists based on the strength and potential,
Mm,
based on the potential. Nobody is signing artists these days off potential. They
mm,
already want to know, do you got a story? Do you got how many hits do you got? How many hits is your website getting? How many downloads have you gotten?
mm,
What kind of fan base have you already developed? The majors already want you to have now you got to do all the work and
mm,
then they'll take over. Okay.
mm,
Nobody's buying, nobody invests in the music business on an idea anymore. Nobody
mm.
invests on a great singer and then go develop it. They already want it almost ready right away
Okay.
because it's so expensive. But I told this the other day, if you concentrate less on the show and concentrate on the business, you can be very successful. There's a
Mm,
reason why they call it show business. Okay. And what I mean by that, if you're in build, let's say you got a picture, and I don't mean to talk bad about this group. Okay.
mhm.
Men Condition, great group, right? Great group,
Yep.
great group. Okay. Men Condition, when I got to A&M, Men Condition was a group that I looked at, and I looked at what they had spent. Now, mind you, they did go gold. We saw a picture of them in Billboard magazine. They went gold, but they
Mm.
spent so much money that they should have went double platinum.
Wow.
Okay, so they sold gold and still lost over $1 million
Woo. Oh, that's a
because they
lot.
overspent. Oh,
Mm.
companies get shut down because of that. Do that mistake two or three times. There is no more. There is no more company.
Yeah.
Okay, because see, when everybody wants to be shown on a chart, that's what I mean about the show. You want to be shown in Billboard magazine, you want to be on the BET, you want to be at the Soul Train Awards. Well, there's money that costs all that to make that happen, and it's no guarantee that it's going to happen. But then if you take an artist like what G. Pierce is doing right now, the independent movement, he's doing it on his own. He's
Mhm.
building 99 cents downloads, and it's working. And it's
Yeah.
working. He's creating a nice, quiet. He ain't trying to spend. He ain't trying to be he ain't trying to spend like Universal because you can't. That's $1 billion company.
Mhm.
That's $1 billion company. So it's impossible to compete against a Taylor Swift or Beyonce, but unless money for money. But if you
Mhm.
concentrate less on the show and worry about the business, you can still find yourself very profitable by less sales. And like I said, I would love to talk. I could talk to you for hours about a lot of this stuff
Mhm.
and really break it down for your audience of what all this really means.
Okay. Well, we'll have to follow back up on that another day and do that, and that way I
Man,
can
it'd
get
be
it
my pleasure, man.
started
Yeah,
because
I
they need to
I
hear
love,
that.
but I got to go get ready for Friday.
Yeah, you got to get ready. You got to get ready. And I think my wife hit me up and she was like, "You need to go on TikTok tonight and DJ." So I think I'm gonna go and do a Southern Soul show after we get
All
off.
right.
You know.
That'd be, hey,
Yeah.
I gotta, I'm gonna be setting up the gym tomorrow, so that we're gonna be in there, me and Mello and everybody. We're gonna be setting up the gym tomorrow and be ready to hit it Friday. Enjoy the picnic. So I'm looking forward to all the nights coming out Friday. Then I'm looking forward to everybody coming out Saturday.
Everybody, because hey, it's the talk of the town. Because we don't have a lot of good things going on for adults to do no more. So I think it's
Right.
gonna be a
Well,
great turn up and turn out like you got me and my wife. We be out and go to Detroit and go to go out on the town, but we get to go out and
right.
stuff. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you there, man. Absolutely.
Yes,
Looking
sir.
forward to having you and your wife there. So, all
Yes,
right, my
sir.
brother. Well, thank you so much, Kevin.
Man, I thank you and appreciate you for coming on the More Than the Coach podcast. And I will see you Friday evening.
All right, my brother. Enjoy, everybody. I'll see y'all Friday, then I'll see y'all Saturday. But thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for the
All
time.
right. Yep. Thank you too.
Okay. Have a good night, my brother. All right, my man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Yep.
Bye.
Peace. So, y'all, that was a great interview, y'all. And he did some teaching with my brother, Mr. Dave Rosas, y'all. Like you said, taught me some things tonight. One, I didn't even know he was a BV alumni. That even made me even happier to have BV OG legend on the podcast, y'all. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate y'all tuning in, y'all, for episode 2 in season 8. Y'all, like I said, man, I got a lot of plans and a lot of goals going on, and we're going to make things happen, y'all. But before we get ready to get out of here, man, I just want y'all to understand, make sure y'all tap in with these podcasts that's going on out here. I don't have a logo up, y'all, but we got my sister, Miss Elise McDowell from Dick and Conversations podcast. Y'all got to make sure y'all check her out. Once again, you know, my brother, Danye Jones, Something Every Yay podcast. Then we got my brother, Mr. Yacht Life Chronicles. And then we got my cousin all the way out there in Columbus, that terrible town of Ohio, with TDFA podcast. So y'all make sure y'all stop in and y'all check them out. They doing great things, y'all. And go support the podcast, people, y'all, because we the new media. We going to give it to you and be honest with you about things. You know, I got a segment going to be coming up, and it's called Talk Your Shit, Kid. And I'm going to talk and say some things, going to make some people mad. Hey, when I was coaching, I kind of kept it a little PG because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, but I don't coach no more, so I'm going to tell it how I feel, you know, and tell it what it is, you know. So we're going to get ready to get out of here, y'all. Like I said, y'all ain't doing too much, man. Stop on by TikTok. Go follow me at DJ Kev 5432. Tonight, y'all, I'm going to throw a Southern Soul show on. Good music, man, and I'm gonna have a good time for about an hour, and then I'm gonna shut it down, y'all. Also, I want to actually keep my little cousin in prayer. She lost her husband last week. You know, rest in peace to Mike. And you know, we had his home going tomorrow, so you know, just make sure y'all take time to love on your loved ones, because you never know, you know, when it might be the last time, you know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all love on your loved ones, y'all. And man, and also I got to give a big congratulations to my great nephew, Lil Deuce. He graduated today, him and my little niece, Kensington, as well as my oldest granddaughter, Kaya Pearl. She graduated going into the 6th grade today from Arrowwood. So to all the graduates of class 2026, you know, proud of y'all. Go make your life the best life. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Don't let nobody stop your dreams. And when times get hard, call on somebody. If you got that person you can talk to them. Reach out. Don't keep it all inside, y'all, because that mental, that's something strong, and you don't want to lose it. So make sure you reach out to whoever you might need to reach out to get that help you might need. But until then, y'all, this your boy, Coach Marshall, from the More Than the Coach podcast. Till next week, y'all be easy, be smooth, always be great. Peace.
Into the podcast, it's a process. We're talking like music, sports, and entertainment. Oh yes, get your popcorn, going for a long ride. It's a special edition of the More Than the Coach podcast. PODCAST, doing this one for the culture. That's on me. Yes, sir.